Thank you very much. Thank you first to all the North Star people. I was hesitant to be honored, and they talked me into it. But I think it's a great organization, and I think that everybody here, whether you're an activist or an artist, or you bought a ticket, or you snuck in, you are all helping to support a really awesome organization. So maybe we could just give each other a quick round of applause. I just want to say a couple of things, and then I'm going to get out of here. Or not, I'm not going to get out of here. I will be there till the end, but I won't be talking. So I don't know. I don't feel that I deserve to get an award, and it seems really stupid. I feel like an imposter, but yet it is happening. It had to happen. I knew I had to say something about it, and I had an argument or a fight or a discussion with my partner last night, and we were talking about class. Basically, the fight came down to something about class and a misunderstanding having to do with class. And when I got off the phone, I reflected on where I came from. And just very quickly, I want to talk just a little bit about where I came from and what I hope for. You know, I'm proud of my kind of working class roots. My dad was from Egypt. My mother was from Newark, New Jersey, Irish American, poor, depression, alcoholism, and all that. But really, I was born on third base. And I thought about it as I was not born on third base because of what I had, but I was born on third base because of who I had. And the first was I had parents who taught me to respect other people and threw me into diversity from an early age. Now, part of it was economic. We didn't have a lot of money. So if you don't have a lot of money, you're going to engage in diversity. But part of it was my mother having the guts to send me up to Harlem for school because she wanted me to get a good education that she could afford. And so from an early age, I was exposed to everybody. And from an early age, I was taught not just please, thank you, and you're welcome, but Mr. and Mrs. In my building, there was workers from the 32J. I used to wear the picket signs when y'all used to go on strike back in the day. But the other little kids in the building would greet the workers, and they'd be like, you know, hi, Juan, you know, hi, Ted, or they wouldn't greet them at all. And from an early age, my mother said, it's Mr. Juan, it's Senor Jose, it's Senor Ramon, it's Mr. Eddie, it's Mr. T. And by giving that little bit of respect, doors were open for me, not just literally, but in conversations. Because somehow they got, I'm a little kid, I'm just a little pain in the ass. That wasn't a reflection of me, but it was a reflection of my parents. And what I wish is that parents can just go about the business of raising their kids in the city, even outside the city, without bullets flying. That we have a government that assists families to raise good kids. Secondly, you know, I went to Corpus Christi Grammar School, and there's a gentleman over there that went there too. And it was cheap. It was probably like $40 a month, but it was a lot of money. And you would have to bring this little envelope to the principal's office with your money in it. They would sign it and give it back to you. So I didn't know, but there was a year or two, my parents didn't have any money. and they let me keep going to the school. This was a Catholic school. And they let me keep going to school, but they said, wait, keep giving Stephen the envelope so he doesn't have to know that you don't have money. So these were just, to me, teachers, clergy, who was caring not just about the mind of the student, and the religious people caring about the soul in the hereafter, but having a sense of self-esteem and not feeling lesser than as a kid. And I want those kind of teachers. I want those kind of clergy. We all come from different faiths. And then lastly, when it was time for me to go to college, my parents didn't have money to send me for college, and I was a bike messenger. And I was glad, I was kind of psyched, until it got to be February. And freezing your ass, I better do something. And so I applied to state school. And back then, you could apply to state school, and you could go to state school, and you could pay for it. And I was an undergrad for a long time, because I was a screw-up. I did 7.5 years as an undergrad. But what I want to tell you is, under Governor Mario Cuomo, the tuition never went up in 7 years. What did go up was Pell Grants and EOP grants. And so I want elected officials who will support people like me, people like us, people that the North Star community serves, to give everybody a chance for education. So I was fortunate to have that. To conclude, just I have 2 quotes. One was I was looking up community because I'm a big believer in community. That's one thing I can say. And I believe in enlarging community, and I hope it gets enlarged even more tonight. But in looking for community, I found an artist quote. It's from Albert Camus. I never really appreciated existentialism. I don't love the French. No, the French are okay. But anyway, this is a quote for the artists in the room. And Camus said, "The artist forges himself to the others, midway between the beauty he cannot do without and the community he cannot tear himself away from. This is why true artists scorn nothing. They are obliged to understand rather than to judge." And listen, as a citizen, I judge all the time. Go on my Twitter feed. I'm angry all the time. Lastly, on the subject of giving, of doing what we can in this crazy, insane time in our history, there's a dear friend of ours named Stephen McKinley Henderson. He's a wonderful actor, wonderful friend. And he'd come over to my house a couple times a month and have a couple of tall vodkas and just start talking. And you want to hear everything the man has to say. We were talking about a month or 2 ago, and Paola, who read, was upset about the state of the world. And she's like, what's the point? What's the point? These motherfuckers are in office, it's not going to change. What's the point? What can I do? What can I do? And Steve said, for everybody here, you can only do so much, but you can do so much. So let's all just keep doing what we can. I'm going to try to catch up to you guys, and thank you very much.